Security footage captured the tense moment. A motorbike thief zeroed in on a woman walking alone, menacing her and demanding her belongings. Terrified, the victim complied, fearing for her safety. Just when it seemed the robber would make a clean getaway, fate took a sharp turn. From a nearby parked car, an off-duty police officer had been watching the scene unfold. In a flash, he sprang into action, rushing straight at the suspect and cutting off his escape. Within seconds, the officer overpowered the stunned criminal and forced him to the ground. A calm afternoon at a small fashion boutique erupted into chaos when two armed robbers stormed inside. One of them, eyes cold and merciless, raised his gun at the young shop owner, snarling for money. Paralyzed with fear, she could only stare as danger closed in. Then, thunder on the stairs. Her husband charged down from the upper floor, gun in hand. In a split second, he pulled the trigger. The crack of gunfire shattered the suffocating silence, forcing the attackers back. In that decisive moment, his fearless action shielded his wife from a tragedy that seemed inevitable only seconds before. Security footage from a parking lot captured the terrifying moment. A gang of armed robbers charged toward a car, ready to strike. Their plan seemed unstoppable, until the vehicle's owner made a split-second decision. Sensing danger, he drew his firearm and fired a single warning shot. The crack of gunfire ripped through the night, sending shockwaves through the attackers. Stunned and panicked, the would-be thieves scattered in chaos, stumbling over each other as they fled. What began as a coordinated ambush ended in total collapse, one man's quick thinking turning a deadly threat into a humiliating retreat. A quiet walk turned into a nightmare when a motorbike riding robber suddenly sped up, brandishing a gun and demanding cash. The couple froze for a split second. Then everything changed. Without hesitation, the man lunged forward, shielding the woman at his side. In an instant, fear gave way to raw courage as he confronted the armed attacker head-on, refusing to let the robber dictate their fate. Racing up on a motorbike, a gun-wielding thief targeted a young couple as they stood by their parked car. He pointed the weapon menacingly, demanding they hand everything over. But the woman didn't break. Calmly stepping aside, she placed her trust in her partner. The tables turned in seconds. What began as an act of intimidation ended with the gunman pinned and pleading for mercy, his crime crushed by his own instant karma. It was an ordinary afternoon on a crowded street when danger struck without warning. Two young women were walking side by side, unaware of the threat closing in. Suddenly, a motorbike screeched to a halt in front of them. The rider, eyes fixed and menacing, demanded a phone at gunpoint. Terrified, one of the women reluctantly surrendered the device. But fate had other plans. A pickup truck driver, witnessing the crime unfold just yards away, made a split-second decision. With a sharp turn of the wheel, he swung his vehicle across the road, cutting off the thief's only escape route. A young woman was refueling her car at a gas station when a gang of robbers suddenly charged in, their vehicle speeding straight toward her. But instead of freezing in fear, she fought back with astonishing courage. In a fearless leap, she landed on her car, seizing control of the situation before the attackers could even react. An old man was refueling his car when a gang of robbers suddenly ambushed him. Without a moment's hesitation, and with the fuel pump already in his hand, he turned it on them, drenching the attackers in gasoline. It was a daring and astonishingly effective move that left the would-be criminals stunned and scrambling to escape. In Ananindeua, Brazil, two men thought they had pulled off a clean getaway after robbing a woman with what appeared to be a gun. But their victory was short-lived. Within just an hour, police, armed with security camera footage and tips from the public, tracked the motorcycle used in the heist. The net closed quickly. One suspect confessed, while the other was caught red-handed with the replica firearm and the very clothes worn during the crime. Two men thought they had found an easy target, an unattended motorbike parked outside a home. One jumped off, seized the vehicle, and tried to make his getaway. But in a flash, the front door burst open. The homeowner stormed out, a gun raised and aimed squarely at the thief. The robber froze, then abandoned the bike in panic, fleeing for his life. No trigger was pulled. Fear alone was enough to stop the crime cold. A man was withdrawing money at a small privately owned booth when a group of robbers suddenly appeared, trying to snatch his cash. Just as the situation turned dangerous, the booth owner acted without hesitation. He drew a firearm and fired to protect his customer. Startled and overwhelmed, the robbers panicked and fled the scene. Thanks to the owner's quick and decisive action, the customer escaped unharmed, and the crime was stopped on the spot. A peaceful walk between a man and his dog turned into chaos when an armed robber appeared from nowhere, gun raised and intent on a quick score. The man tried to flee as the criminal gave chase, danger closing in with every step. But before the robber could strike, loyalty struck first. The man's faithful dog lunged with fearless resolve, attacking the assailant to shield its owner. Two robbers on motorcycles suddenly closed in on a young couple. The attackers lunged, threatening to snatch their belongings, but the man refused to back down. Driven by love and raw determination, he fought with all his strength to shield his girlfriend. Just as the struggle reached its peak, help arrived from the unlikeliest place. Residents nearby rushed forward, surrounding the thieves and cutting off every escape route. In moments, the robbers were overwhelmed and captured. What began as a frightening ambush ended in a dramatic display of courage and unity, a powerful reminder that bravery and community spirit can turn the tide against crime. Panic struck when a young girl's head became trapped in a car window. A nearby man rushed to her aid, holding the window steady to prevent further injury while desperately calling for help. But despite his best efforts, the child remained in danger. Then, another rescuer appeared. With calm focus and decisive strength, he sized up the situation in seconds. In a daring move, he shattered the glass with his bare hands, freeing the terrified girl.